Family TV. Welcome back from that break. We are here today. Is Anti-Corruption Day, and you know everything that really happens about fighting corruption. There are cancers. Pastor Kanja was talking about this is a cancer, and we need to fight for it. And Reverend Rukundo Richard is going to be telling us about corruption. How do we celebrate this? What do we need to know as individuals? And how has the church fought this corruption to remove this cancer that is happening? You're welcome, Reverend Rukundo.
Thank you.
Yeah, please tell us. How did you see this weather? I'm seeing you wearing a sweater.
Yeah, it was very cold where I'm coming from. I don't know what's happening the rest of you there, but where I am, it was. But thank God for all the good blessings that He gives us. We thank God for the life. And like you said, I'm glad to be back to talk about corruption. And I'm glad that we've been talking about corruption these weeks. The Anti-Corruption Day, and I'm glad that actually within these days I've had opportunity to interact with the team, which is the IGG herself. I was in one of the platforms where she was addressing us, and I was also glad to visit Canon Nakalema, who's the State House and Corruption Unit head.
Yeah.
And I think they are passionate about changing this country's
really?
corruption story. So we as a church should join them, and I'm sure that that's why the Archbishop is calling on us as well to do our part, because corruption is for all of us. It's not for just those who are fighting the IGG. So for me, I work with youth and children, so I keep saying, are we nurturing them not to be corrupt?
Yeah, because it begins with them.
Are we in our homes as well? There was a debate on the social media about children giving sweets in schools. And actually I was happy because someone posted it and people were saying, those are children. I said, no. Actually I have gone to schools before and told them it is not right to ask children to give sweets, because that means even posters.
And how do they give them?
Auntie, the parents buy the sweets, then the child has to go class by class distributing sweets.
If
I am competing with you,
for me,
please vote for you. Then they also have to do posters, and I'm like, okay, if I don't have money for posters,
and you do not have money for
actually, there's a family I know very well where there was a big fight about posters. The child stood, and the mother wanted to make posters, and the father said, no, we don't have money to make posters. And there was a big fight between the two parents over posters. They said, why do they need posters? And the mother was saying, no, we need to make posters, but posters are expensive, we don't have money. So I think even starting from our homes and the things that we encourage our children to know, are we ourselves fair? Are we helping them to appreciate that they can grow up not corrupt? Because corruption, I think, breeds from home.
It begins with the home.
Even
if they see the father is not just and corrupt with the business, they are like, okay, this is the way to go.
I think so. For me, my concern would be that as a church, are we talking about the things that we should do? When I was reading through the 4th National Integrity Survey report, which is for 2019, released in November 2020. This is the newest version of the anti-corruption report that has come out. And I'm glad because it talks about all the sectors, and it's I think, the most recent. And they listed out things that actually are the forms of corruption in our country. So there's bribery, there's solicitation, there's nepotism, there's embezzlement, diversion of public funds, forgery,
poor quality
of
stuff, like the nets, like those
influencing, peddling of interest, withholding information, lack of transparency, extorting, favoritism, personating public officers, eliciting enrichment, causing financial loss, fraud, and accounting, and you see the list is very big.
Yeah, it's very big.
Are those things the things that are not even present in our church? So my question was, I'm a church leader, but I need to be careful. Some of these may actually be with us as well.
They are there.
So if we say corruption is not just bribery, and I thought actually bribery is the thing, and when you see from the index, it is the biggest, with 47.1%. But there are others, forgery, diversion of public funds, embezzlement, nepotism, this tribalism, extortion, favoritism, you favor others over others. So I realize that corruption.
Even we were reading today in the news, there is that one of poor quality stuff. They send you of good quality.
I don't know how they call that. Maybe it is giving, because someone must have done shoddy work.
Shoddy work instead of
so
what?
When you look at this, and I'm wondering, as a church community, as a Christian community, are we not also part of this sometimes, causing financial loss, accounting, where I know that as church these days we are doing audits, but the church has for a long time not had auditing. And you know that there are some church leaders who are not comfortable with the church being audited. Why are we doing accountability? You know, we are a church. And by the way, there are many Christian churches, especially these independent churches. I don't think they have any audits.
I'll tell you why would you tell you the leader.
This morning, someone was talking about one of the church leaders who has decided to build houses and marry wives.
I'm thinking, why don't they audit them like they audit? And I said, the IGG the other time came up and
the person was actually complaining, saying this church leader is given money by people who are poor.
True.
So he's now rich, buying cars, and so the question would be: is he himself being audited? Who audits? Because they don't know other businesses that he does, maybe as church members. So they're saying, if we know your only business is church, and then you are getting rich and buying all these things, are you yourself able to talk about corruption? Because we don't know where you get your money. And most of these churches where they are lots of, I think Church of Uganda now we're also working very independent. And you are the pastor, you're the auditor,
you're the accountant, you're the receiver.
So are we able to say that we themselves, are we also just so the Christian community, I think, and I know even within the Church of Uganda, the main churches, we are still very uncomfortable sometimes when they say we are going to be audited. But I think that's okay for us to actually say, look, we have received these funds, this is how we have used them. And actually when you get used to that kind of system, it is very okay. So when you talk about even accepting churches to be audited, doing the right things that we're supposed to do, not favoring. If I'm a church leader, am I favoring others over others? Am I a leader who favors maybe certain tribe over another tribe? Favoritism. That's extortion. Do I first say, okay, you must give me something first before I do for you something? A service which is supposed to be free, and I know that's one of the things that we have a challenge in this country, that their service is supposed to be free, but every time you go there, they'll tell you, if you don't have money,
please, you're not going to access it. So, like healthy facilities.
Health facilities.
Yeah, you go there today. We're reading about the story where the healthy facilities, Healthy Center 3, they do not have medicine. But then you go there and then you make the line, and then they tell you, they just write for you a paper that go and access this. And I'm looking at these people. They are poor people. They do not have money.
They do not have money.
Why? But there are people who embezzle money for these medicines.
I know.
So I'm asking, how has the church fought this vice of corruption?
I think the church as an institution, we also have a challenge, because most of the times we are the ones who have schools, we have hospitals, we have church institutions. So I think, first of all, I would want to see that within the church we are doing the right thing, because we can't say we are fighting corruption outside our own selves. If the church has these institutions, even within the church community, and we are receiving funds and we are serving the people, I think we need to do a lot more in terms of being able to see that we are ourselves exemplary. So where there are audits, let's allow them. Where there is fairness, let's advertise. For example, jobs in the church. Are we advertising to say that we can advertise a job and people can fairly compete? And I'm glad, because in Church of Uganda, I know that we've been doing that in many of the positions in the provincial secretariat, for example, that you have to apply and then you all do interviews and the best person will go through. So that kind of fairness is very vital, that we are not people who are allowing ourselves and our own institutions to be corrupt. And then we can be able to tell others what they need to do, because I think it starts with us. And I know that also church community has families, many of the forms. What is happening in our homes, within our children? Are we also showing favoritism? Because I'm not realizing that even when we show favoritism at home, it's also unfair that you have children you are giving others you're not giving, or you are...
Even some parents show it. Yeah, they show it. They favor girls over boys. They favor boys over girls, and maybe there is a family where a man, they gave birth to a girl, yet the man wanted a boy. It's like, even I'm not going to come to the hospital.
Can you imagine?
Yes, I'm not going to come to the hospital because you have over 5 girls. Yeah, so I thought today.
I hope that wasn't a Christian person, because sometimes it's so annoying if you're a Christian. But you see, even when you help children, for example, not to embezzle, not take what is not yours. That we put money there, and you're not supposed to take something which is not yours.
Yeah.
That's alone saying that if it is not yours, leave it. Growing up, actually, I remember that maybe the parents didn't have a lot of money, but we used to have money where they keep it, and we all know where they keep the money. But you don't pick money which is not yours. So if you're helping the children at home to know that money which is not yours, don't take it. But otherwise, if children are picking money which is not theirs, and you're leaving them and say, and the children steal the money, and that's already happening at home. What will happen when they get to an institution and find money which is not theirs? Most likely they'll go with it. And even nepotism. I'm thinking in this country we are diverse, and different tribes, different clans, different what. How do we talk about other tribes, even to our own children? Do we tell them, those people are not good? Those type of people, I don't like them. Hey, when you bring a girl to get married, say, never marry someone from that side.
Yeah.
Never. So are you not helping?
Even when you bring them home, they're like,
Yeah, so that kind of is also part of corruption, that we actually are always talking bad about certain people, and people grow up, the children grow up knowing, I can never relate with this kind of people because they are not the best. Parents have biases already and that's also part of the corruption, as we can see. Favoritism, nepotism, you're trying to sideline some people and against others. So that's also part of what the church should do. So I'm actually realizing that in corruption, the forms are very many. And I'm saying, are we even ourselves as church leaders even able to appreciate these kind of forms? Because I realize that even as I go through this, I'm now realizing there are many other forms that we should do. And information is power. So I would want to encourage all of us as church leaders actually get access to this information. Because then you can talk confidently and say, as a church, are we doing this fair thing? As leaders, are we doing this? Even within our systems. And I know sometimes as church, when we bring system, people say, no, we are church, it is not right. If you have served for a certain time and the constitution says you should stop for 2 terms, are you able to stop? Or do you want to say, now you see my years? Yesterday I was seeing an article by the Bishop of Ankole, Bishop Dr. Sheldon, and he was writing something about how people are changing their years. I'm supposed to retire.
Even the other times, civil servants, they pluck out some papers that show their age, so when they see themselves clocking at 60 years, they're like, we cannot allow, I'm still young. They go and steal papers.
So and I think he was mentioning that in this era we have a lot of people changing their years. You're supposed to retire. You keep saying, no, I still have time. But if the constitution says 2 terms, why are you insisting? And now I know we've been doing leaders of fathers union, leaders of mothers union, leaders of the church leaders. If your time has come, please be honest and say my time has. But if you forge and say, I have still more time, or my time is not yet, that's part of corruption. So in the corruption forms, I'm realizing that actually we are also guilty as leaders sometimes, and we are not as well helping our people to appreciate that, corruption is not just giving someone money or for buying them off. It is the things that we actually do and are not right, and are not right, and part of the corruption. So I think when you get greedy, and I'm seeing here greed for quick money, that's a big temptation. Sometimes we want money, quick money, greed for quick money, low sales,
that even do not count.
Yeah, so you see lack of knowledge by the public servants and lack of stringent punishment on corrupt people. Sometimes, we just favor others. That one should even when they bring me someone and say, this one is doing something wrong. They're like, that one is from my side. I will not punish very hard. So
Rev, we're concluding. What is like your parting shots? What is our call as Christians to fight this vice, like individually?
Yeah. I think you are right. Individually, we have all a role. I don't think this is a role for the IGG. And I'm happy because I've been hearing the IGG, who's our own Betty Kamia, saying really that it starts with me, starts with you. We all have a part to play. What are you doing fairly? Are you yourself right? And I think let's not limit ourselves to thinking that bribery is because I don't give money to the police officer, or because I don't give money to someone giving me a service. All the things that we have seen now here, the nepotism, the secretarianism, the tribalism, the things that we actually encourage.
You may be not corrupting money, but you're
in terms
tribalistic.
You're very tribalistic. You're very sectarian. You like extorting things. So all that becomes sort of corruption. So I hope that God will encourage us as a Christian community to be examples, because I know we have churches, we have institutions. Are we allowing, even within our own institutions, to be the example? So it starts from the home, that the things that we are doing at home are fair, are true, are also just. But also when we get to the institutions that we manage, that we are part of, we are also honest with ourselves. If your age has reached, don't extend your age. If your term has ended, let's say my term has ended.
That's still the
because that's part of corruption, that you're actually saying, I'm forging to add more years to serve or to whatever. Yes, you served very well, but remember, there is a regulation saying that please do not continue, do not do this. So I think we as a church need to also be able to embrace, because we need to be the light, and the Bible says we're the light and salt of the world. So how are we doing it? Are we different? So you who's watching, you who's a church leader, you who's a member of the church, in what way are you doing it, starting from your own home? So it's me, it's you, it's all of us. It's working together from where we start. You may not be the IGG in the country, but you're the IGG of your home. You're the IGG of the church where you are. You're the IGG in every community that you are on. When you don't fight for fairness, for opportunities for each one of us, then we are all part of the corruption.
In one way or the other. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for following us on all our social media platforms. Today we've been talking about corruption. It begins with you. Every now and again, if you see, you can be corrupt in your home, or you can be corrupt in some sectors. You're this person who says, me, I'm not corrupt. I do not give traffic officers money. I do not give bribe the healthy centers, all facilities. But you might be that kind of person who really has that nepotism and tribalistic in one way or the other. Thank you so much. This is Church of Uganda Family TV, and thank you for always following us on all our social media platforms. I love you so much. Have a lovely day. Brenda M is my name. I love you. Good.